Greetings, good tidings, salutations. It's your buddy, your pal, Anthony Washington, your consultant, your confidant, your guide, your teacher, your friend, Anthony Washington. And I am the author. I need to start promoting my book more. I'm the author of More From Your 24, The Art of Getting Done While Getting Money and Having Fun. That ties into my whole passion and philosophy. I have a lot of passions, but my biggest passion in philosophy is about systems. And so I am the owner, operator, and proprietor of the Systems Management Cash Flow Institute, where we teach companies how to operate like Fortune 500 companies. And I don't say that is just a tagline, it really is something that I've really grown some passion for how to systematize things because that's what's going to separate. First of all, well, we'll talk about different categories for getting yourself recession ready if you're not already. A lot of you already are. If you already are, if you feel like you are ready for what's to come, because I don't want to play doom and gloom, but the writing's on the wall. Things aren't getting better before they're going to get worse. So I'm into the stock market. I do some day trading. I've been getting my ass kicked. I ain't gonna lie with day trading. Not really, because I don't risk more than what I can manage to lose. But it hasn't been fun. Not really winning. I haven't been really winning. Just kind of trading sideways. Going against really, I've been violating all my rules. Going against what I know, and then the market has been it's been pretty weird. I mean, it's been going down. I've been playing puts. Usually when I play puts is when you play options going down. If you don't know options talk or about trading talk, we won't get deep dive. But when you can actually bet against the market going down, so it hasn't been a bad thing that the market is going down. My portfolio overall is down, of course, but when you know how to play options, you can offset that. You can hedge your account by knowing how to play to the downside. And so I have done that. And my play, I'm usually always watching Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs kind of leads what's going on. Goldman Sachs traditionally. Now it hasn't always been that way. Well, I mean it hasn't been that way, but now it really has. It really has. Goldman Sachs is always gonna lead the market as far as where it's going. So Goldman Sachs, as you can see, has been trending down since its peak back in November. It's been trending down, and if you look at the overall market, you look at SPY. Um, SPY was up in December, right? So we see Goldman Sachs was took a hard dive in November, and then it went up, went down. If you know how to read candlesticks, in December. Conversely, the S&P back in December actually went up. So that tells you that the banks know ahead of time than the rest of the market that um, impending financial struggles are on the way. So I play Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is going to tell me what's going on with the overall market because they are the. If you know about Goldman Sachs, I won't get too deep into market talk. But if you know about Goldman Sachs is pretty much one of the standard as far as banks. Everything flows in and flows out of the banks. If you really want to know the state of the economy, you want to look at what the banks are doing, and you also want to look at what the dollar is doing, and you also want to look at. Well, I don't have it here. What do I have it on? You want to look at what's going on. I won't get into. You want to look at what's going on with um, the blue collar work, with transportation, and we'll talk about that. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of companies struggling in transportation. let's look at FinViz, and I'm gonna look at the futures and go to charts. And this is the Dow Jones Industrial. So the Dow Jones Industrial, that's what drives the economy. This is what tracks the transportation industry, shipping industry. We know shipping has had its has been an assault on shipping, and yeah, we see since true since basically November pretty much was the November December pretty much was the top of that run we saw since the pandemic. We saw you know the pandemic happened, and then we saw a run up in the market. This is when I started jumping in the market. I've been messing around with the market probably since I started trading actually back in. I think I got an Instagram post to show me trading back in like 14, 15. Started off with Forex. That didn't last long. Forex has its merit, but now Forex is no. But anyway, I started jumping in, and then I started trading penny stocks, um, trying to figure it out. I got into options probably like around 2019. At the end of 2019, I remember really getting into options and making some plays. I actually made some play when United Airlines. I put some puts on, and this was my first one of my first trades. I did some puts on United Airlines back when they had some type of issue. Now I think that was back in 2009. That was pre-pandemic. See, the pandemic happened, and then I jumped in the market. Stimulus money. Ain't gonna lie, stimulus money. And then just a lot of good fortune, really, saving money, really learning, and I put money and I started trading Apple options in 2020, and I thought I was a genius because I was up, trading options on Apple, and it was a blessing. It was a blessing, but the market does humble you and let you know now you don't know it all. You. It was a lot of beginner's luck, and then it's easy to jump in a bull market and exercise just a little enough patience and wisdom to make it benefit from you in a bull market. But in a sideways or in a trending bear market, that's when the real traders come out. And I'm figuring that out now. I'm learning. I'm navigating the waters. I'm gonna get there. It's a long term game. So anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. Uh, not to play gloom and doom, but we see the writings on the wall. We see it. Inflation, mortgage rates rising, housing is rising, everything's going up. Gas is going up. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of um, contacts and associates that I know in the transportation industry, and I dibbled and dabbled in the transportation industry. Put invested in a couple of things to try to. Um, I didn't go all the way in as far as buying trucks. I did partner with a couple of people trying to get some trucks, got some routes, dibbled and dabbled in that, and I kind of saw back then that it was getting um, there was a lot of issues that would a lot of factors that would lead to me not. I mean, I was like, I don't think I want to do the transportation. At least from not from an owner operator standpoint. I have I do have interest as far as doing dispatching, but what's going to happen is a lot. You see a lot of owner operators, small transportation, box trucks. A lot of people in the transportation industry that are not as big or not as established don't have those long cash flows, don't have that line of credit. don't have that track record, those relationships, those routes. A lot of them are suffering. A lot of them are losing routes. A lot of them are losing um, fleets. A lot of them are just getting out of the game. Freight rates. Um, the I know freight rates are off balance, and it's tough out there. It's tough. Some, that's not the story for everybody, but um, it wasn't. It's not as beautiful and shiny as it was when you saw a lot of people jumping in the transportation game. It's changed. The game has changed, right? And so there comes a time to pivot. So the people who are doing well right now are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, as long as you have that hustle, you're an entrepreneur. You have those resources. Most of all, you have your mind. You have your experience, your mind, and you have um, the faith and the spirit to overcome. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be fine. And again, so this is not doom and gloom. It's just perspective, and it's just to prepare people. And I'm speaking to myself because I've had to pivot. The people who are going to do well, who are doing well, um, as things, you may see, a surge because the stock market. I found a lot of parallels. The reason why I love the stock market, not just because it's about money, it's just it teaches you lessons. There are people who take karate and they get lessons, life lessons that they can take into their everyday life. Same thing with sports. Same thing with anything that you do. If you're able to extract the lesson, so the lesson that I get out of watching the stock market is you can see a lot of times that long term overall you'll see a trend downwards, but then you'll see those pops up, those pop ups, and those are the times you want to look forward to. You want to appreciate, but then you want to, if there's an opportunity for the market to run and you make some money, you want to make that money. You want to be responsible with that money. What you saw a lot of times, especially post pandemic, when there was a lot of infusion of capital, you know, during that time, 80% of the capital that's ever been created was created and infused during that time. So you saw a lot of people benefiting from that, and you saw the euphoria around that, and you saw the irresponsibility around that. Not everybody um, reasonably marshaled their resources around that time, saved, and some people are suffering because of it. You get into a mode and we all suffer from we all suffer from it. I do it myself, where you have the irrational thinking that it's always going to be this way. You have a few good weeks, a few good months, a good year, man, a good year. And I know this, a good year where you like, man, you getting after it will um, change your life. It will impact your life in a lot of in a lot of different ways. It will make you sometimes jaded and think, yeah, it will always be this way. It will give you confidence, but it will also, uh, yeah, it would also make you jaded sometimes. Um, and you have to anticipate that you will have another good run. You will have those good seasons, and you have to remember the pain of not being prepared for those bad seasons. So you want to marshal your resources. You want to do things a little differently. Put your money in a few different places that are going to sustain you. You want to invest a little wiser, a little more. You want to maybe invest in yourself a little more. You want to sometimes be more patient, not try to do too much in those seasons. I saw that a lot with a lot of people. A lot of people started to get over leveraged. and I'm not pocket watching on anybody. Who am I to pocket watch on anybody? I'm just observing the landscape, and a lot of people put their stuff out there for it to be examined and analyzed, and it's documented. And then, of course, there's data is being able to find data, real data. That's what separates. That's what separates the great companies. That's what makes Facebook so valuable. Facebook is a data company. Google is a data company. That's what they sell. That's why these ads I run. Like, I'm running some ads, dollar a day ads. If it's the least I can do right now with this fledgling company I have. And so this is part of my pivot. I see a need for um, blue collar work. So that goes back into what I was saying. I got sidetracked. The ones who are doing well are going to do well in this environment, in the coming environment of recession, because a real recession is really probably already underway. Again, there's always lagging indicators. People always wait for actual numbers to come out, the reports to come out. A good resource to go or to keep up with the market, even if you're not the most savvy or engaged market person. Just marketwatch.com, and they have a calendar. When the Fed speaks, um, when different reports come out, it's just good information to be aware of. If you're a market watcher, the markets evolve. I mean, revolve and react to a lot of these reports. A lot of these when the Philadelphia Fed President Patrick Harker spoke on Wednesday at 4 p.m. When Jerome Powell speaks, you best believe there's going to be some activity. Jerome Powell is the Fed chairman. If you don't know who that is, um, when he speaks, he's the one who has the ability to communicate when interest rates are going to rise or when they're going to stay the same. He's going to give that forecast for. Basically, he's just the spokesperson to communicate the state of the economy at that time. But it's always a lagging. He's always speaking really in the past, because what's happening right now in the market, and then the market is always looking ahead. The big players, the banks, they know what's coming months ahead, and they play in that way. And that's where I come in, where I try to watch to see what the banks are doing long term. Again, I gave you the example earlier how Goldman Sachs um, started falling, started shortening the market before the rest of the market did. Then everybody else started following suit. You see, Apple still has some good run up until December, and then December, even up until they had a little pop up to February. February they actually saw their high. January they actually saw their high at 182, and they've been down ever since. And right now we at 138. Goddamn Apple! If I'd have known, I would have sold up there. We don't know. You don't know. You don't know. But a lot of these companies know. Goldman Sachs was getting out of the market. Um, yeah, Goldman Sachs was getting out of the market in November. They sold it. They hired 426. I remember, and I was like, oh, I remember playing the, the options back then, and I got being a part of community boards. Nobody really ever talks about Goldman Sachs. Nobody. When I go on trading platforms, discords, nobody ever talks about Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs leads the market. My mentor taught me that a long time ago. Shout out. And so back to what I was saying. Watching the market, knowing that things aren't getting better. We see and we feel it in our pockets. Everybody feel it in their pockets. I know some of y'all is more ballerific than the rest of us. Uh, but we feel it in our pockets. Are you recession ready? Um, the people who are going to do well are, again, the entrepreneurs, the ones who are able to pivot, use their brain, use their resources, and use their faith. Entrepreneurs will always be fine. Now, from a wage earner standpoint, because I never want to leave out the wage earning man, who is really the majority, because I mean I've had to pivot and hold down 9 to 5, but the people who do well in the 9 to 5 world, in the employed world, are people in IT. IT. If you are someone looking for um, a career pivot, you really want to start looking into. Now it's going to take time. It's not as easy as some people will have you believe, but it can be done, especially if you have a degree. Um, get your certifications in IT, your CompTIA, your Linux, and these take time, but they're not. If you get CompTIA or Linux degrees, they're not 4 year degrees, and if there's certifications, and then you land there, you have the right experience, have the right resume, you can at least land some interviews, some nice interviews, and get yourself in the door. And these jobs are paying 70, 80, 90, 6 figures, remote jobs. So people in IT, if you're a data analyst, if you're and if you know how to do automation, if you know how to do scripting and Python, if you're good with RPA, which is remote process automation, or robotic process automation, which really I have an interest in. If you have Linux server um, experience, or if you have HTML, a lot of these are great careers that some of you might not have ever considered, but they're recession not recession proof, but they're primed for uh, you know people. They're not recession proof, but they're it would have you ready for the recession because of a lot of different factors. They pay more, a lot more job security. It's a skill you're learning. Anybody with skills. So shout out to my big brother Ronald Warner. He has R&D air conditioning company. That's a skill. That's a he'll always be in demand, especially during the summer. In this hot Texas heat, he's doing very well for himself. And there's not a lot of people of color. There's not a lot of black companies. I'll just say I almost like people of color. Man, forget that. It's not a lot of Negroes, black people doing that type of work, blue collar work. Um, there's a lot of contractors. I'm a part of a contractor group that I watch on Facebook. It's a black contractors. There seems to be quite a few of them in Houston, but overall, there's really not a whole lot. And then I've seen. Well, I don't want to get into that, but there needs to be more accountability, more um, quality assurance within the black contractors community, because I've seen a lot of back and forths. I don't want to get into that, but I've seen there's some drama in that space. People not doing good work, and that's with contractors. Period. Contractors are notorious. It's hard to find a good contractor. If you're in real estate, if you ever done real estate, I've done real estate deals, flips, and contractors. That's what separates a good deal and a good real estate organization from a great one. That is the that's really one of the deciding factors, having a good contractor on your squad, on your team. So yeah, blue collar work. There, a lot of you may want to consider. Now I know a lot of us have an aversion for blue collar work, especially I think that probably the younger we get in our generations, the more there is an aversion to getting outside, doing manual labor, doing things like working with your hands. But that is what's gonna always you're gonna always gonna be able to put some money in your pocket when the digital world isn't working for you. When that and then working a job and you don't have a lot of skills. You just have you know maybe a degree, but you really don't have any skills or a lot of experience with it, especially practical experience. Knowing how to really cash the turn the cash register, you're gonna be at the mercy of meaning you don't have skills, you don't have a plan, you don't have a vision. You're gonna be at the mercy of someone who does, and they're gonna pay you the bare minimum of what they can pay you. If you have skills, you can always be able to put some money in your pocket. Right now, I'm doing a pivot, and I've picked up soft washing, not pressure washing, soft washing, washing roofs, and doing pressure washing on driveways. Um, I've seen I saw a market opportunity. So I've started. I built a little website. I built a little website, made a little ad, and started running ads to try to get some leads. Right now, just at $1 a day, but I've had experience in running ads and getting leads before, and so we're just gonna pivot into that and see what that comes. If um, Google was I won't teach it right now, but I've learned how to utilize. It used to be Google My Business. Now it's Google Business Profile, I believe. Let me see. Google Business Profile. Anyway, it's part of Google Maps, where you can see all the businesses. I figured out a few hacks on things and learned how to get leads, like in my real estate business, um, and then in my digital marketing. Getting people to call you, and then using your sales skills to close the deal. It's still I'm not an expert on it, but I've figured some things out, and so I believe my skills, the skills that I'm developing, I have developed and have used, will make me recession ready. Um, with say my thinking is if I can get a job, maybe I can get a soft washing client. Get one for $200, two of those a week. It's extra $400. That's the way you have to think. That's not it's not gonna just change your life. For a lot of people, it actually will. But that's the type of thing you got to be able to pivot and. Um, the Bible says, "Cast your bread upon the waters," because you never know which one will be the one to hit for you. Basically, to be lucrative. I'm paraphrasing from the Bible, but it says, "Cast your bread upon the waters." Right. So I haven't got any leads from this. I just started this the other day, and I'm only doing dollar leads. I mean dollar ads. So I'm just really just experimenting, and then I may once I get I'll be honest with you. I don't have the capital right now that I'm willing to invest in that because I have probably the guy who has too many things going on. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm gonna figure it out because I'm so passionate and I have different associates, and you can't say yes to everybody, but I want to help everybody, and I want to be of value to as many um, operations that I can, and then still be able to build my own personal brand, my own personal things at the same time. So me doing this video, that's what I'm doing. I'm really just kind of going through what I normally would go through as far as me just checking things, looking at the market, checking on my ad, and then just doing the active work of creating a video and talking about what I do. Video is really what I've put down my as my niche, my focus as far as how I can provide value to the marketplace, because I know about video from a creative standpoint, from a production standpoint. And see, right now, see, the words are just coming to me. I'm actively doing this, and some people it might be boring. I might be boring to somebody, and I don't get any views, but I'm doing the work. And I might run some ads to this video just to get a little bit more traction. But the YouTube is something that I'm building, that I'm as part of my getting ready for a recession. Um, what I'll do is, being owner, operator, proprietor of systems management cash flow, I'm going to demonstrate to you, as you stay with me on this journey. If you watch, I'm going to demonstrate to you how doing something like this, doing this video, I'm talking, I'm actually getting, well, probably not on this video, but I can show you how I'm actually getting work done, all by just documenting what I'm doing, but just kind of talking through it. That's content. And then, say if I were to actually be, servicing a client, I wouldn't possibly show their client information or their company. Say I'm writing an email campaign, which I actually have to do. Say I'm writing an email campaign for someone, I would just turn on the what I'm doing right now, kind of talk when do it, but then kind of talk through it. That way, I'm just documenting and I'm doing a demonstration, and that's content that I can use. And then what I want to, the knowledge that I want to give and impart to other small business owners, or just owners, period, business owners, is getting more content, right? And this right here, what I'm doing, I'm demonstrating as I'm doing it, right? Getting more content. What I would do is take this content, and then I would utilize a virtual assistant probably from the Philippines, or probably from Pakistan, because the way the economy works out, economies of scale, you get more um, bang for your dollar over there. It's not you're not. I've heard people criticize you're taking away from U.S. labor. No, these are actual skillful people. Um, that a lot of Americans don't have the skill for, or possibly will overcharge for the skill, because a lot of this is a skill, but then um, it's not expert level skill, probably intermediate skill. So if you need it at scale, it makes sense to, we live in a global economy. Why not open it up to the global economy? So what I'll do is I'll get someone a VA. I'll get someone to just chop up this video. I can get someone to probably pay. Well, I won't say how much I can pay. I know someone. Probably get someone to chop these up into, you know, 10 to 20 uh, 1 minute videos, and that's content. Throw it out there. That's content. Repurpose it. It's all about repurposing, and as far as content. So I want to say that real quick, and I don't see anything wrong with that. So, and you're not underpaying them. You're paying them at their exchange rate. So $5 for us goes a long way for them. That's some that's like half a day or maybe a day's wage. $5 to us, and we a lot of us can't compute that. Oh, you're only paying them pennies. No, you're paying them what their rate, what their wage is over there. And if you uh, and then from a economic standpoint, not to get too deep, but from an economic standpoint, if you say their standard rate is $3 to $5 an hour, which is a acceptable, which is very acceptable rate of pay for a lot of tasks in Pakistan, India, um, the Philippines. That's a standard rate, up even up to $10. No more than $10, you're really starting to. Those who can demand over $10 over there, they really have some more specialized skills. Before like data entry for basic menial tasks, $3 to $5 an hour is a very much acceptable rate, a wage for them. Now I've heard people say, well, I'll pay them above and beyond $20 an hour. No, but see, you do that, and then you begin to throw off the balance of the economy. You start to yeah, you start to mess up the price. I won't get into that, but anyway. So again, uh, sharpening your skills. That's how you get ready. Um, Picking up other streams of income. Even just something to put an extra $100, $200, some spending money um, in your pocket. That's how you do it. And then don't be afraid to take a risk. Don't be afraid to take a risk because nobody's coming to save you. Excuse me. Nobody's coming to save you. And I apologize. Nobody's coming to save us. And you have to take risks because what are you really holding on to? If the system is going to make us broke, if the system is going to break us, we might as well just go for broke anyway. If the system is going to break us, go for yours. Go for what you really want to go after, and have faith. I think God is challenging a lot of us right now to really get back to our faith, to really get back to really getting back to our faith. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So, um, are you recession ready? That's my question. That's my. I didn't expect to make all this to say all this, but I got to keep doing these videos. I got to keep doing the work. Nobody watching. If everybody's watching, whoever's watching, God's watching. I'm doing the work. Do the work. Do the work. That's how you get recession ready. Do the work. Do what God leads you to do. I'm being led to just I don't know, but get the book. More from your 24. That's part of my recession rate. Buy a book from me, man. I'd appreciate it. 24 $24. That's what I charge. More from your 24. The art of getting done while getting money and having fun. Right. So I wrote this book really a long time ago, and I just kind of tweaked it and finished it up. It's got an audio book along with it. It's got a link to the audio book. I won't show it here. I won't show it because you got to buy the book. If you buy the book, if you buy the hard copy, um, you have the link here that you can go to. I should have put it. Man, I should have put a Q. Now that I look at, it, I should put a QR code for the audio book. Why didn't I do that? But I can. But if you. But anyway, buy the book, or you can buy the ebook on um, anthonybwashington.com. You can go to my website, anthonybwashington.com/resources, or you can go. There should be a link somewhere around this video for the Amazon link, so you can buy the hard copy. If you want to buy the ebook, buy it from me, please. Go straight to my website, anthonybwashington.com/resources. You see the link for the book. You can buy the book and you'll have the audio book there. The ebook and the audio book will be there. That's $9.99, right? You buy the hard copy book, $24.99, 24 hours. Talk about how to get more if you're 24. And so that's something that I feel like I'm an expert on. And an expert is just someone who knows just a little bit more than someone else. So I'm not the expert, but I am an expert because I know a little bit more than probably the average person, but I'm average myself. And I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. As you can see, my mind works in mysterious ways. Anyway, tap in with me. People who say tap in with me probably sound like the biggest scammers. I try to stay away from that. Tap in, tap in. Get with me if you want or work if you want to work with me. I don't know how we can work together. I do video. I teach you how to set up automations and how to save time. I am a bit of a wisdom savant, I believe, and so I can just be a consultant to you. You can bounce ideas off me. I know a little bit. I know a lot about a lot. So holla at me, man, or women. Peace and blessings. God bless.